So this is the first time really that I've experienced a gimbal style webcam before, and I must say I can really see its appeal, especially if you're the type of creator who is going to be up and about and walking around, or if you're going to be giving some kind of, I don't know, a virtual lecture and have a whiteboard behind you, like a teacher type scenario. Well, I've been testing the OBSBOT Tiny SE, which is actually quite a small gimbal style webcam and the baby sibling of the Tiny 2 that sits on top of your monitor and produces a fairly decent image. Now, of course, I'm no teacher myself, but I do make content on YouTube and could in future see me using this camera for my own content, so let's have a chat about it. Being a gimbal camera, it means that the lens can look up, down, left and right, and having AI capabilities, it means that it can track your movements, and actually it does it quite well, as you can see here with me going over to my window to open it. It can also be manually controlled, but more on that when we talk about the software, including all of the AI bits and pieces that also comes with the camera. But let's talk about specs. Inside of the camera, you can find a 2/8-inch CMOS sensor, which is capable of 2 megapixels of quality or 1080p resolution. It shoots at up to 100 FPS at this resolution, though it can do 120 FPS slow motion recording as well, if you're willing to drop the resolution to 720p. It has an f1.8 aperture, which is fairly wide, and a field of view of 71 degrees or equivalent focal length of 26mm, which I must say I am most impressed with, and compared with the OBSBOT Meet 2 camera that I took a look at not too long ago, card in the corner if you want to check that out, is seemingly a lot wider than that. It probably sits more closely on par with my Elgato Facecam, though albeit much smaller. So here is an example of the OBSBOT Tiny 2 and the Elgato Facecam that's sitting next to it. You can tell that the Elgato Facecam is slightly wider, especially vertically, because you can see the entire Elgato microphone here in shot compared to the OBSBOT Tiny 2, but the OBSBOT looks a lot better than the Elgato Facecam. It has got a minimum focus distance of 10mm, which is insane, and pretty much means that it can focus on an object right on top of the lens, which does bring me onto creating content with this thing. Now, during my gaming keyboard and mouse videos, I like to show off gameplay while using the gear itself, but what I usually do with my Elgato Facecam is use a tripod sitting next to said keyboard or mouse on the desk. However, I was excited a bit here because this thing has a 2-axis gimbal on it and it can look directly down at my desk, and I can manually set that as well. So now when I make my content for my keyboard and mouse videos, I can just set this OBSBOT Tiny SE to look right down at my desk and then make content, and I don't have to move the camera from my monitor. Now this I think is just super nifty, and it does save me having to trail cables around to suit the way that I do it at the moment with the Elgato Facecam and having to hide cables in the shot, that kind of thing. And although being 1080p, it does mean the quality is pretty decent as well while using this as a webcam for my content. Now I know for full-sized video, it's not really going to be too clear compared to a 4K webcam, say the Tiny 2, and for talking head videos, but for live streaming, when your webcam is usually in the very bottom right or left-hand side corner of your screen, then I think it's actually ideal. So I've jumped into a quick game of Rematch just to showcase the webcam and its capabilities for things like streaming and creating content on YouTube. And being a 1080p webcam, you can tell in the bottom left-hand side of the screen at the moment that the quality is pretty decent because it is in a very small area of the screen, so you're not really making the image any larger, but yeah, apart from that, it's not a bad little webcam at all to really use if you're going to be using it in this way, live streaming or playing some gaming, doing some kind of content creation. I am unsure though if it's not being used as a static camera that the quality is all that great if you're going to be using it while walking around. Now I tested this thing in my living room here, which I thought had a decent amount of light coming in, but whether it was trying to find me to focus on or if it was just the fact that it was a 1080p webcam video, I'm unsure. But to be honest, if you're going to be using it online on a virtual call, filming in super high-res 4K pinpoint quality might not be the best way anyway, in case you have some bandwidth limitations for this type of quality video. Now for sitting at your desk though, and for maybe some simple standing desk type content, say if you're going to be, I don't know, building a PC on a live stream, then I think is a pretty decent option. Now, let's talk about the software though, because this can be the difference. So diving into the OBSBOT Center, you've got some pretty standard settings that you'd come to expect nowadays from higher-end webcams on the market, such as quality controls, of which you can film in up to 120 FPS at 720p or 1080p at 100 FPS. You've got your image enhancements, auto and manual control over your image quality, and some beauty modes on here too, so you can look all thin and pretty when on stream. Now, most interestingly though is the AI capabilities, which offer various trackings of your face, body, feet. Yes, I know if that's your type of content, then no judgment here. And also your hands for when you're filming on your desk. It's all neatly packed together and very easy to use, though do take note that to use this on third-party software like OBS Studio or even Teams and Zoom, please turn on the virtual camera, which is a button at the top, so your effects and presets get carried across to said software. And in terms of microphone quality, it has a dual omnidirectional microphone with noise reduction, which did work all right, seeing as my PC case fans were whirring away at the time of recording this next segment of video. But yeah, just take a listen. It also connects to your PC using a USB Type-C cable, though it does come with a Type A to Type-C USB adapter in the box. And this is the type of audio quality that you can come to expect from the OBSBOT Tiny 2 webcam. It's not going to be good enough for content creation, I'm afraid, but it will get you through, say, a Zoom or a Teams meeting, virtual meeting with your colleagues. It does sound a little bit tinny, I must say, but yeah, apart from that, it's a webcam microphone. You can't expect the earth, unfortunately. And now very quickly looking at low light performance, it's not that bad at all. It's having a little bit of an issue focusing on me, but I have got a glow coming from my desktop, a little bit of flicker in the background because I'm running a candle. And that's about it. The monitor's in front of me, but in terms of low light performance, it's not that bad at all. You probably wouldn't, I don't know, create content in this type of darkness, but looking at my preview window, it's pretty good. Also, one thing I did just quickly want to mention is its sleep function. Now, the webcam faces into its base when it does fall asleep after a certain amount of time, which I know for security-conscious people, it's quite a nice feature to know that the webcam isn't just broadcasting your room the entire time or your study or wherever your PC is. It's actually looking down at the base, which is quite nice. There's no privacy shutter on the camera or anything like that, which I thought was a bit strange at first, until that sleep mode happened and it just looked down. So if anyone does decide to hack into your webcam, all they're going to see is the base of the webcam itself. I'm unsure about the microphones though, but yeah, at least people won't be able to see into the room. Overall though, it's not a bad webcam at all, and OBSBOT have done it again, and yes, they've definitely impressed me with the quality and also the fact that it does have a gimbal as well, so I'm absolutely going to be testing it for my PC gaming videos moving forward, especially for my desk shots. It's not really too badly priced either, I don't think, coming in at £109, though you did need 4K footage, then you could go for the Tiny 2.